In this lesson, we'll be talking about the selection CSS pseudo-element. Now, before we dive into this, there are a couple words of warning I have to give you. First of all, if you look at the browser support, you'll see that mobile browsers do not support it. Largely, that's because selecting text on mobile browsers is fairly difficult. It's also not supported on IE8, and you need the Moz browser prefix when you're using Firefox. Now, if you're on the pseudo-elements page from the Mozilla Developer Network, you can click on :selection and get a lot more information about this. I'd highly recommend reading this page before you implement it. First of all, it warns you this is non-standard and is not on a standards track, as of 2013. They say do not use it on production sites facing the web, it will not work for every user. If you scroll down a bit further, you can see that you can only use certain CSS properties, specifically color, background color, and text shadow. It turns out you can't make that text bold after all. So although :selection is not in this specification, generally browsers support it. You do also have to look at the examples area too. You can't say :Moz selection, :selection. According to the specification, when browsers encounter invalid pseudo-elements, they have to drop the entire rule. That means that we need to write our code like this: Moz selection, some properties, and selection, then some properties. So enough talk, let's take a look and see if it works. I'm going to say :Moz selection, and I'll give it a background color of FCC. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but without the Moz. And now if I refresh, and I select some text, sure enough, I have a red selection. If I change the color to be 0CF, and I refresh, sure enough now we've got an aqua blue selection. Now once again, if you use this, you do want to make sure you test it on all the browsers that you care about. You also want to test it and make sure that weird things don't happen. The reason it was removed from the specification in the first place is that it was actually underspecified a little bit, which means browsers might behave slightly differently.